Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, things seem to be working. So, because I hit 100 subscribers to my YouTube channel, I decided to do a stream where I show you how I kind of go through and design things and the process. This is probably going to take a while because that's the reality of 3D of developing things, that it requires a lot of testing and a lot of messing around. Basically, what I'm going to try and do is replicate a previous design that I made. This is not the design that I wanted. In Tinkercad, making a little gyroscopic toy. I'm going to create this design in code blocks, and we can just get right into it. Okay. 20, a wall thickness of 2, a height of 4, and I'm going to want 64 sides. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I'll need another tube now. And I think I want a radius of 23, a thickness of 2, a height of 4, 64 for there. And let's see, perfect, not quite. I think that's going to be too much of a gap. 22, let's see how that looks. Too close, so we need 22.5. That doesn't seem ideal. Let's try a wall thickness of 4. That looks realistically like a better solution. So if we've got a wall thickness of 4 here, we'll have to make the radius on this one bigger. Let's try 24.5 and see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Okay. With that, I need a radius of that's not quite what I need. Why is the radius not changing? Okay. Okay, so it seems I've hit a problem where I can't, minimum radius that I seem to be able to have is 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Okay. If that's the case, I can do that, and then I'll just need to scale it down. Two. Let's see how that looks. Probably too small. 0.4. That realistically looks better. I need to rotate on the y-axis. Cool. Okay. Now I can move this over here. And I'll move that. Darn it, I can't make these transparent anymore in this mode. Oh well. -20, okay. I'll put in -19. I'll drag in a create group tab here. Then I'll press play. Ah, interesting. Okay. So let's try -19. And -18. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see better. Refresh. Okay. That looks like it might be much better. Cool. Then I'll duplicate all of these. Oh, no. Nope, my mistake. I need to duplicate this to the bottom. And instead of negatives, I just need positives. And instead of rotating by 90 degrees, I will need -90 for the other side. That looks like it might work. Okay. Now we'll need another ring. I think we'll make this maybe 4 rings would be good. 4 rings seems good. So we'll need to add in a new tube. Let's see. If it's adding 4.5, the next one should be a radius of 29. 29. A wall thickness of 4. A height of 4. And 64 sides. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Now we need to make some hinges for it to turn on over here and over here this time. In order to do that, well, I could make my life a lot harder, or I could make my life a lot easier. By just adding these and reattaching it over there. Now, I'll need to rotate this, and this time it should be the x-axis. Excellent. Okay. Now I'm going to need to move it over here. Now, let's see. Previously, when I was making the hinges over here, or the points of rotation over here, I put them at 19 for the solid. So it was actually one less than the thicker wall. So let's try 23.5 on the y-axis. And see where that sends this one. That goes over there. Ah, excellent. Okay. But not quite. Well, let me just double check my work. That actually does seem like a small problem. Not thrilled that it's slightly poking through like that. My tolerances were apparently not quite good enough. What I can do is scale these down to 0.3 perhaps, and see how that resolves the issue. Let's restart and we'll go step by step. Aha, it didn't go through enough this time. Okay. Let's try 18.5. And we'll restart. Excellent. Now it's through all the way. That one seems fine. But just to be safe, I'll go with 19.5, 18.5, 19.5. Restart. Yeah, that seems like it will have a better tolerance. That side is perfectly good. Excellent. Okay. Now we know that we have to do like that. Let's try 24.5 actually. Okay, let's see. Aha, it's a little bit too far. We'll try 24. Still too much, huh? 23.5. Interesting. Let me think about the relationship between these two. Or this one. So, if there's a 0.5 millimeter gap between the walls, the outer wall is 29, And the inner wall would be 25 then. Ah, but the rotation is making it a little bit longer there. And that's why it's a little bit too far. Okay. Try again. Perfect. Wonderful. Now that that's in place, we can put one over here. And yeah, a 1 millimeter difference, so this one will be 24. And now if we hit play, excellent, okay. Then we can once again just duplicate all of that code, add it to the bottom, and do a little bit of reversing. Instead of rotating by negative 90 degrees, we'll be rotating by 90 degrees. Wait. Ah, I took too much code. Okay. There we go. Okay. Instead of rotating by 90 on this one, we'll need it to rotate by negative 90 because we want to go to the other side over here. Because we want to go to the other side, we'll need it to go to negative 23. And same thing. We'll need it to rotate by negative 90. And we'll need it to send it to negative 24. But I forgot something. I forgot to add create groups after each one. Otherwise, we would have had a PEMDAS order of operations problem. There we go. Okay. Okay. 1 point of rotation, 2 points. We'll just do 2 more, I think. We'll need another shape. We'll need one of those tubes. Let's see. The previous one was 29. So adding 4.5. To 29, we get 33.5. Oops. We'll have our wall thickness being 4, our height being 4, and our sides being 64. Wonderful, that looks good. Now that I'm thinking about it, what would be the best way for this to rotate? I guess this is a thought experiment to think about. Would it be best to have them rotate in opposite directions, like a gyroscope, or have them lined up all with one rotation? I guess that's worth experimenting with, but for now I'll focus on different angles of rotation. But before I do anything else, I will want some of these. This is going to be a hole. We're going to rotate on the y-axis. I do not want to create group tab because I don't know where I want this to go yet. Let's try 29. We'll go through our code until we get down here. Not over here. Can't see it over here. Darn it. Let's try 30. Oh wait, it wouldn't be, it would be over here. Aha. And I messed up the X rotation, so let's play it back again. Okay. This time we'll try -28 and see what happens. Because that was clearly too far. Still a little bit too far. We'll try 27 this time. Why can't I see it? It should be over there. Oh, was it just not far enough, in fact? Ah, my rotation might be wrong. Let's try it that way. Still don't see it, but I think this is going to be better. Nope, I was right. We'll try a 0.5 millimeter less. Not quite. There we go. Okay. We will need to create group tab in there first to avoid a PEMDAS order of operations mistake. 28.5 will be good for that. Excellent, that looks connected. And now we just need to add in another create group. Duplicate our code, add it to the bottom, and just do some reversing from negatives into positives. Now if we press play, I'll do this slowly so we can see the process, since I think I'm done with the gyroscopic effect. You know, I think I could clean up my code so I could better show off what I'm doing. I guess that's worth it. Okay. So we will put this one. How to do this? I see. Okay. You will go here. we will go to that one. I'll add you there. Sorry for the slowdown, but I think this will help you visualize how the creation process is going about. Let's test this theory really quickly, or see if I made everything horribly, horribly worse. So we start with our ring, then we make the first hole that will rotate around, and we add it into position. Excellent. Then we make the next one, and put it on the other side. Wonderful. Then we add in this outer ring, and we add in the pegs that will rotate around, one at a time. So now you can begin to see how it all works. And it basically works each ring in a similar manner, removing a small space that it will rotate around, making the ring, adding a peg for it to rotate, until we get to our final design. This final ring is about not quite 7 centimeters in radius, and I think that's probably a good size for our ornament. Now we can start working on the snowflake design for the interior. So, in order to do that, we will have to add in some shapes. What kind of shapes would I like to do? I think a polygon will be a good first shape for the center with 6 sides. And let's see how big that is. Okay. I'll need to change the size of it a little bit. I think, how much smaller do I want? Let's try 0.7. 0.7 to make it a little bit smaller. And I believe for the Z I will want 0.4 to make it 4 millimeters tall. No, still not good. Let's try 0.3. Oh, no, it was 20 millimeters tall to begin with. Is 0.7 a good one? Or is it still? I guess it's good. Okay, and it is an appropriate height. Now I want to cut out the middle shape of our snowflake. So I'll go to Shapes, drag in another polygon. This one will be a hole, and I will need to modify it by dragging in another scale XYZ. And I think I'll want this one to be let's try 0.5 and see what we get. Yeah, that seems good, and I can drag in a Create Group tab. Next, I will need to drag in a box. We'll do a width of, what is our smallest radius? 20, radius of 20. So the inner radius is 16 because our thickness is 4. Okay, so that means a diameter of 32. Let's try that and see how it goes. I think I want a length of 2 and a width of 4. Let's see what we get. That looks pretty good. But the only thing I'm not so sure about is if we copy and rotate on the z-axis 60 degrees, and if we do that 2 times, it might not be quite what I want it to be. Actually, that looks okay. Great. You know, it dawns on me that I probably want to add this to the beginning of my code. For one simple reason, it's going to make life a lot easier to edit this if it's at the very beginning of our code. Because if I hit play now, excellent. Okay. Now we can start go. Or now we can continue. So after that, we need another box. 5, 2, and a height of 4. We're going to move that to an x of, let's try 15, and rotate it on the z-axis by 45 degrees. Let's see, oops, how that happens. Okay, an x of 15 is too much. Let's try an x of 12 and maybe a y of -2. Closer. However, it dawns on me that I have some extra code that I don't need. Realistically, I don't need any of these copy and rotate commands, so we can save ourselves some headache by just deleting them from our code. That is because if I make that small little change, if I restart and I do it step by step, much better. And this actually needs to be by -45. Much better. Let's try 13. Close. I think I do want these to touch. That seems good. now I just need to duplicate that. But I'll move it to an x of 2 instead. And this one I believe I will want to rotate by 45 degrees. Yes, wonderful. Okay. Now I'll just duplicate all of these shapes again. And let us see. Let's try 10.5 and 10.5. No, 10.5 was too little actually. If we try 10 though, probably not quite enough. So 9.5 it is. Excellent. Now, let's see if I can make my life a lot easier. I'm going to drag in a repeat command, and I'm going to copy and rotate on the z-axis by 60 degrees. And I'm going to want to do this 5 times, I believe. And let's see how that does. Ah, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to create these into a group. Cool. So there's the base of our snowflake with the ring around it. And now, there we go. I think the last thing that we need to do is add something so that we can put some string onto our shape. A thickness of 2 is probably more than adequate for this. We only really need a height of 4. Let's say a radius of 6. And move this one to a, let's see, wait. Something is terribly wrong with our design because these two are up here and over there. Those last two should be here and here. Glad I caught that before thinking I was done, but a little bit frustrating. Let's just change some colors in the meantime. It's always nice to make things a little bit prettier every time you mess something up. Let's delete this since we've still got quite a bit of work to do. So, let me see. Those last two would have been rotated around the x-axis when they realistically, they were rotated on the, they were using the y, moving on the y-axis and rotating on the x. I see. Those colors are bugging me, but I will deal with them later. We'll rotate around the y-axis by 90 degrees, and we will take that and move it to the y-axis. But that was the hole, and I won't be able to see the result until the solid part is made. So let's fix that first. Rotate on the x-axis. Oops. I'll cut and paste. And you know what? While I'm making changes with absolutely no idea if this will actually fix the problem, I might as well do more. Because why not? Not the z-axis, the x-axis. So, let's see if that fixed our problem. Well, you can't always get it right. That seems like it should be negative 90. That should be negative 90. This one should be 90. And this one should be 90. Why won't you go to the next step? There we go. Okay. That looks pretty good. But it now will rotate on alternating things. I suppose it's worth double checking all of these things that I've made. And because it's annoying me, we'll also fix our colors a little bit. I'm happy with the white, blue. But that means that this one should be white. This one should be blue. And this one should be white. There we go. Utterly meaningless for our code, but it's satisfying to get the colors right. Now we just need to add a little hook over here in order to hang our Christmas tree or hang our ornament from the tree. Now we'll go back to the Shapes tab and we'll drag in that tube that I deleted from before. I guess this one should be blue. Go with a radius of 6, a wall thickness of 2, because we're not rotating on this. 4, and we will move this let me see, to a Y of 37, maybe? Let's see how that plays out. You know, that's not bad. For the sake of the camera angle, though, I think I'll change that to a Y of negative 37. I think that's pretty good. I think the last thing that we really need to do is export this as an STL file. Wonderful. Then if we open up Prusa Slicer, and we load in our snowflake, we can see exactly what it looks like after we slice this up. Because there's those little hinges, I think a layer height of 0.2 might be better. And let's see. And that's why you always check in Slicer before you hit print. What on earth is happening here? Wonderful. Well, better catch that before you print than after you hit print. I just want to check the other ones. It seems fairly decent. Okay, the rest. So with that in mind, we can go back here and we can see what we did wrong. Ah, there we go. We rotated on the Z-axis. Now if we export a new version of it, we go back into Prusa Slicer. We can delete that. Load in the new one. Hit slice. And with any luck, our foolish mistakes will have been rectified. That looks good. Wonderful. And I guess it's worth trying to see if I can do a color change and how that turns out. Well, thank you very much. I hope that people found this stream interesting. This was my first time streaming, so obviously I'm not the greatest at this. But if you found this ornament interesting and would like to see a faster video on how to make it yourself, please, I guess, give the video a like. Otherwise, I hope you have a good weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.